Hello there, guys. First 11 YouTube channel here, live with the EFL show. Aaron Chalner here from Forever Football DRSC, along with Niall, the Plymouth Argyle fan who also hosts the Let's Talk Premier League show, and Charlie from One Rovers Vlogs, the Bristol Rovers fan base, One Rovers Vlogs. Guys, mixed week for some of us, but not all of us. How are we feeling about this week?
I quite like points. They're quite nice. What about you, Aaron? Do you like points as well, or?
I don't like them at the minute, pal. I don't like them at the minute. I think that's the first time this season now we've slipped outside the top six, and it's embarrassing. I mean, I know it's unlucky, but when you've got a board like ours, questions.
They always blame the board.
Yeah. Charlie, again, it looks like it was only just slipping away from you against Sunderland, so not a great week in the relegation battle.
Yeah, pretty frustrating again. Like I said on some other channels, that I thought we played quite well. It's just again can't score. But after that performance against Sunderland, I think if we can play like that consistently, then we have a chance. Even though our run is quite tough. But yeah, another loss.
Yeah, and if any of you guys are wondering, we lost again because we're a bunch of crabs walking sideways, not offering enough attack. We've got the depression of Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh, and we lost again. Absolute bollocks. But we're going to talk about our club's performances in a little bit more detail. We've got the League One and League Two scores as well. We've got Lone Watch as well by the end of the stream, so it's all going down. Make sure you guys are liking this stream if you've loved it. Comment down below throughout this evening as well. We'd love to get your thoughts on screen as we go through the scores. So before we go through the rest of the fixtures, we have to look in more detail at our scores. So I think it's only fair that I start off and sort of describe that utter shite from Doncaster Rovers, losing 1-0 to MK Dons.
Get your popcorn, guys. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. I recommend you all screen record and bloody clip this because I'm going to go on a mad one. So, what did we do in that game? Can't put my finger on it. Oh yeah, we did nothing. So let's just go through this correctly. MK Dons didn't start Dean Lewington. They started Zach Jules, and we still didn't win. Fair play to Russell Martin. His side were progressive. They were dominating the ball. We had 10 shots. One of them on target. One. It's like the 1 in 1-0. One, but we didn't have the O to go with it. Utter shite. Utter shite. And some of those players didn't deserve to wear the badge of Doncaster Rovers. Taylor Richards. If you don't want to play for this club, go and watch Darren Moore at Sheffield Wednesday for the rest of the season. Because you clearly love sucking his middle area. You don't want to play for this club. It's so clear. Every single week, you don't want to play for this fucking football club. You have the mind of Paul Pogba. You don't want to be there. If you don't want to be there, go. Just fucking go. James Coppinger, the only attacking player that was trying. James Coppinger, the only player trying. Lewis Jones, world-class saves. Lewis Jones kept it from being 3 or 4. Other than that, utter shite. And Brad Halliday, as soon as he got skinned alive weeks ago by McGeady, you knew what way it was going after that. He turned into York City Brad Halliday, not best right back in the league Brad Halliday. As soon as he got skinned alive by McGeady, it was like that DreamWorks animation film, Open Season. It was open hunting ground on Brad Halliday to skin him alive every week. Absolute utter shite. And if we don't fix up in front of Sky Sports on Friday against Charlton, we're not going to get top 6. We've been looking to get top 13. If we're not careful, we could slip down the form. Blackpool get ahead of us. Oxford, Lincoln, Portsmouth, bloody Charlton. If they win on Friday, they go ahead of us. What have we become from the start of the season?
What did I say a couple of weeks ago about Donny?
You were right. If we don't fix up...
Did Doncaster play well at the weekend then? I'm guessing, judging by your reaction, they played really well.
If you mean well, you mean we couldn't score in a brothel, then yes, we played well.
For Doncaster, I'll class that as a successful weekend.
But enough about my club because they're not giving me any satisfaction. I see more satisfaction on private sites. But Charlie, your performance against Sunderland,
Go
one
from
nil loss.
One depression to another depression.
We're sort of going from one depression to the other, and then we're going to build it up to the positive of Argyle getting a point. But Charlie, I mean, you should have probably got a point against Sunderland, but how was it? Was it better than ours? Because I'm guessing it probably was.
Yeah, definitely a lot better. We had plenty of shots on target. I thought we played quite well. We started well, and it was pretty different as well. Seeing the lineup, we started 2 youngsters. They made their first league start of the season. Pablo Martinez and Zane Walker, and started well. Had 2 good chances, missed them, and then again, I think this season, out of 50 plus goals conceded, I think 39 of them have been from set pieces, and it was another one from a set piece. It was just a simple corner. Aidan McGeady just drilled it in the box, and Aidan O'Brien was unmarked for some reason. I think it was George Williams lost his man, and he just put it in the corner. And then after that, I think it was pretty even. And then second half, they had a lot of possession. When you can bring on the likes of Grant Ledbetter, been there, done it, and they just sort of seen the game out. I mean, they had a few chances second half, but nothing major. And then last 5 minutes, we had 2 good chances, but they fell to the wrong people, and then missed it. But another defeat. But like I said, plenty of positives to take, even though it is a defeat. And when you're playing against a team like Sunderland, when they've got McGeady, who's still on 30 grand a week in League One, and White, who we kept quiet. But I think if we can play like that for the rest of the season, we do have a slight chance of staying up. We just need someone with a bit of confidence to just score and then hopefully go on a good run. But yeah.
Yeah, and what a surprise is Harry McGeady skinning another person alive with the ball. Niall, going on to you now, a bit more positive. You got a point in that game. You're the one person that's got a point out of us 3 after our shambles, and Bristol Rovers not getting at least a point against Sunderland. But Niall, happy with a point against an informed Blackpool heading into the playoffs.
They are the best team here. They are the best team here. They are the best team here. Doncaster, pretty shit. I don't mind Bristol Rovers, but they're not doing great at the moment. But they are the best team here. I mean, Blackpool, they're not a bad side. I mean, okay, obviously the Argyle smoking marijuana at half-time, that shit hasn't changed, of course. It's Argyle, and we haven't eased them off. Argyle are like a drug addiction at the moment. We're trying to ease them off the marijuana at half-time, but it's not quite working so well. We're working on it. But when it comes to 91st minute Joe Edwards, he normally steps up and does a good job and gets us at least a point. I mean, you look at the league table, and Blackpool are 6th, right? So we've gone to 6th, and we've gone and got a point away from home. So I actually already class that as quite a successful weekend, really. I mean, Doncaster, from what I can see, are 7th, which is nice to see.
We've got games in hand, but I don't see where our next win's going to come from. I don't see where the next win's going to come from with the games in hand.
The same amount of games to play as you as well.
And we've got to play them. We've got to play them.
They're not even going to beat us either. They're not even going to beat us. We're going to beat them.
That Blackpool game, I think, against Bristol Rovers, I'm worried about that game with the positives in the Sunderland game. And against Blackpool, if we lose against Blackpool, that could be the game that decides we're not in the top 6 for the rest of the season. It don't matter what we do against Peterborough at home on the last day of the season. We could lose to Blackpool and be out of the top 6.
You damn right should be worried. They're better than you, and they have a better kit. I mean, no, it was quite a close game. I mean, Ryan Hardy getting the first goal against his own club. Who saw that coming? Always happens. As I said, marijuana at half-time, and we come out, a bit high, a bit lazy, concede a goal within 2 minutes of half-time, which is, you just love to see it. It's exactly what sort of reaction you want to see from your boys after half-time. Then to give away a penalty, it's like, where have I seen this before, Argyle? You're doing something different. Oh, no, you're not. It's like, that's just, as I said, Vibes FC. We literally We're just vibes. We're just like, what will be, will be. Like, we're not getting relegated. We can just relax and, I mean, we could just do whatever we want in the lap. Do you know, we'll probably go on a winning run after this and just absolutely batter because apparently we're playing a lot of teams up the top end. Obviously, any team that's got to play, any team that's fighting with Doncaster will probably lose to, and all of that just to help you
and
out.
the worst thing is not that you're beating the people around us, it's the fact that we're not taking advantage of winning ourselves at this rate.
Well, there is that as well, but we took points off Blackpool. We stopped them having all three, but what did you go and do?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what you did.
We are like a bottle of Evian water. We are bottle jobs.
You are literally Tottenham Hotspur Football Club of League One.
Exactly. Where's Jose Mourinho when you need him?
You already have him. You've got the BTEC version.
Andy Butler. This one's more attacking though than Jose Mourinho.
You know how you said this was his audition? You know how you said this was his audition for the permanent job? The audition's going well, isn't it?
I think he just got his first text from Simon Cowell, David Williams, and Amanda Holden. Maybe Alicia Dixon will be more kind. But no, it's not going well at the minute. He needs a golden buzzer to save him at the minute. But yeah, it looks like one club's done better than others. No wins, but I think one club's definitely done better than others. You almost got a point shot.
Rovers might get relegated. I think well. Is anyone happy this weekend about their team in League 1 or 2? I'm pretty happy.
Do you think I'm happy? Do you think I'm happy?
I'm pretty happy. Blackpool are 6th, where we got a point away from home. Yeah, could have been worse.
We couldn't score on a sex chat line.
Doncaster can't be any worse than a team in League 2 who let's say only won one game in 13. So at least your team ain't that. They could be soon. They could finish the season.
Bring it on.
A lot of L's.
Bring it on. With the ambition at the club. We could be
Don't worry, I will bring it on.
We could be in fucking League 2 in a couple of years' time.
Ooh.
We could be in League 2.
Going from promotion to League 2, that is peak.
If there's no ambition by the board, then we're going to be in League 2, but guarantee
Rovers are the gas, but it's pure methane.
God.
Let's see what say that.
Peterborough cricket score. It was a huge game, like 7-0.
That was Jesus.
I assume Niall is the happiest. I'm delighted. I'm genuinely delighted.
The worst thing about our game was the fact that people were pranking me on a live stream saying it's 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, and they were pranking after a couple of minutes. I found out it was a prank, and then I actually got the scoreline. It was 1-0, and they thought it was a prank. They thought I was pranking them instead. It just got even more embarrassing by the minute.
To be fair, Doncaster does seem like a club full of banter, to be fair. But Indiana saying, will all three of your clubs be in League 1 next season? I will.
Maybe not next year.
Well, I'm hoping, but it could go either way because if we don't start scoring, then obviously we'll get relegated, but hopefully something can change this Friday.
To be fair, we do need a League 2 fan, to be fair, so that would help.
And you know what the worst thing is? You know what the worst thing is this week? We could have signed Eric Lehigh and Tom Huddlestone in this next week.
No chance.
But you know
no
what the
chance. That was yes.
You know what the worst thing is? The worst thing is about those. Hang on. The worst thing is we offered them shit wages. They walked, and instead we could be getting Chris O'Grady, who hasn't scored in 10 years. And we're relying on him to be the striker that saves us and gets logically. Top six.
You want to hire two people that literally have nothing left in the tank, who ain't going to be able to do a job on stupid wages.
Well,
do you want your club in administration quicker and you can say Bob Marley?
Well, and our talent identification manager today has announced he's joined Aston Villa. We've let him go to Aston Villa. The person that's actually recruited some decent talent in the last 3 years.
Hold up a minute. You can hardly be angry at him for going to a Premier League club.
Oh, no, I'm not angry with him. I'm angry with the board because you know they're going to replace him with someone like Tweedledum and Tweedledee.
Money, mate. Money talks.
That's not my problem.
Money talks.
Money's the root of all evil, and we're Maleficent in disguise.
It depends on how you spend it. We spend ours quite nicely.
But now I think on that point we should go to you for the rest of the scores, because there was a cricket score, there was some draws, and there was some interesting results, which affects both sides of the table in League One.
Yeah. Did you want to first talk about what you said in the group chat about Ryan Lowe? Because I'm going to debunk that quicker, and you can say Tom Huddleston.
Okay, so basically there's reports going around that Ryan Lowe is possibly in for the Preston job.
Yeah, that's complete bullshit. Basically, Ryan Lowe has just signed a new contract at Argyle, along with his assistant manager. We've built a new grand.
Yeah, but you know who's favourite for that job, or who was on Saturday? Who was the current favourite on Saturday night? Joey Barton. Joey Barton was current favourite.
Yeah, Ryan Lowe.
Who would come into Bristol Rovers though if Joey Barton left?
Tisdale.
Tisdale back.
The thing is, right, Ryan Lowe ain't going nowhere. He's quite happy at Argyle. He gets backed in the transfer windows. We've built a new grandstand. We want to get to the championship. He's in the middle of a project. And any Scouser can tell you, because I spoke to one, he's on my channel a lot. No Scouser walks away from a project. They don't do that. Scousers don't walk from projects. And Ryan Lowe,
I can see your club's going through a project. I can see your club's going through a project.
What about yours?
Bristol Rovers might come back. Well, we were under a project until he fucked off.
Yeah. But yeah, it's okay. I think Joey Barton will most likely stay unless you get relegated. Then he might go. I know he said that he won't, but when a bigger club comes in for him, it's going to be pretty hard for him to go.
It would be really weird, though, if he doesn't save them from League 2 relegation and automatically gets a championship job next season.
Not really, because you can't really blame Joey Barton for this, can you?
Oh, no, I think... Charlie, would you agree that Bristol Rovers relegation would be down to the players, not the manager?
No, it'd be down to the previous managers.
Well, yeah, but the players mainly sort of in this period where they can't fight.
I mean, it's down to a number of things. The board for getting crap managers in and backing Garner, who hadn't even managed in his life, and then it's a mixture of different things. But I think even if we go down, fingers crossed, obviously not. But I think he'll still stay. But it just depends.
And do you think if you went down, you'll go back up at the first time of asking, depending on you get in, if it's Barton's going?
I mean, the quality in League 2 ain't that great.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to think so.
To be fair, we got relegated a few years ago, and we went back up, even if it was first before the last day, and then end up getting third because we lost to Hartlepool, end up getting relegated anyway. But we did go back up because the quality. We ended up getting like 5-1s every week, really. So it's not that great. But would you say Bristol Rovers maybe going back up at the first time of asking if you go down next season?
I mean, yeah, I'd like to think so, but it depends on who we get in and what happens, you know. So yeah,
I'm guessing the summer will tell the story.
But I mean, we'll see. But hopefully, we can stay up.
Yeah, and Niall, are you backing your promotion hopefuls next season?
Depends on the summer, really. I mean, judging by our previous summers, I'm hopeful that we're going to bring in some more talent. We'll have Noel Ennis for a full season, keep Luke Jepcott. Mike Cooper would have had a season under his belt. Just saying,
Jeffcott won't be there next season. Saying.
Oh, he will.
He won't be.
He will.
Is he agreed to a new deal with the club?
I think he has agreed to a new deal. Also, he's in some really shit form, which has hit perfectly because
he hasn't scored in like 12 games.
Yeah, he's so out of form. No one's gonna really want to risk it anymore. They're like, oh, maybe he's a bit inconsistent. Not that I don't want him scoring, but it has sort of come at a good time. So Jepcott will be there next season. I reckon we'll get one more season. If we don't go up, he may go then. And I think we'll get him for another season. Noel Ennis is a fantastic striker.
We dodged a bullet with him. We missed the mark. We missed the target with him.
Cooper is going to have a season under his belt. Danny May has signed a new contract. Joe Edwards is doing well. We've got Kamara, who's a good lad. We're filled with some good talent. There will be some going. I expect Byron Moore will most likely go. Obviously, our centre backs all going to fuck off. Which there's one thing I can promise you: we're getting centre backs because the club actually don't own. We own one centre back.
Yeah, they're literally all on loan, aren't they? Like
they are.
Watts, Poku, and I think the only one you. I think the only one you own is Amerson, isn't it?
Amerson,
unless you bring the youth through, maybe.
We haven't got any decent centre back youths. We got more midfielders and left back. No. Yeah. Trust me, Alan. We have not got a centre back. Trust me when I say that.
Yeah, and I think in terms of the summer, I think I'm kind of mixed between you guys. I think it all depends on the summer what we do. If we have a good summer, then we can push for top 6 again. If we don't go up this season, which I don't think we will do. But if we don't back him in the manager, whoever it is in the summer, whether it's Andy Butler, whispers of Uwe Rosler, but I don't give a shit. If we don't back
Rosler.
the man, if we don't back the man, we bring in a League 1, League 2 talent recruiter who's done nothing in his career, and we bring in shit players, we can end up fighting relegation again.
That'll be fine. Chris saying Barton's odds on favourite to be Preston manager, but I can't see him leaving. Neither can I, mate. Neither can I.
He's just joined, Danny. He ain't gonna.
Easy 6 points for Carlisle to if Bristol Rovers in let's talk Wimbledon versus Northampton. 88-minute winner for Wimbledon. Not a bad one. It was a tight game though, so obviously it was a relegation battle as well. I mean, both from 20-21st, so a huge 3 points for Wimbledon. It's bottom level on terms in Northampton as well.
Yeah, I think that Wimbledon. I think they're unbeaten or they've won their last 7. I think it's either unbeaten or won their last 7. And I think there's a lot of draws in there. Though. So Wimbledon right now I think are one of the better informed teams in the relegation zone. So I think that Wimbledon that 3 points might be looked back on and think that's the 3 points that keeps them up this season. But for Northampton, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. They were in a good run of form. They got the point against us. They sort of set out for a 0-0 anyway. But I think Northampton. I think they may be the team that goes down on goal difference at the end of the season. But I think Northampton are on a patchy run of form, and if they don't fix up soon, season's ending quick and fast. So it's up to them, really. No, they drew 0-0. We beat them 2-0 the first time because they went down to 10 men, and then they drew 0-0.
A draw to them is virtually the same thing.
It's virtually a lot.
Yuri, big up Ewan.
I just saw the name. He was going to bait you as well. He was going to bait you. How do you feel now, Yuri, you Russian prat?
Jesus,
that seems a bit explosive. But
when his name's Yuri and the second name's a baiting name, he deserves it.
Yeah, but I'm not stupid enough to get caught by that. Which is why I called him Yuri. Now, Charlie, your team's near the bottom of the league. Wimbledon, Northampton. Which one of them staying up?
Well, I'd probably go for Wimbledon because they've, in their last obviously sort of 7-8 games, since they brought in Robinson, they've done really well. They've got a good draw against Charlton. Obviously, that game on the weekend was massive. Great win for them. I mean, it was crazy as well because I think Wimbledon obviously got the late goal, and then Northampton actually had a penalty after Wimbledon had scored, and the Wimbledon keeper saved it. So it was pretty crazy last few minutes, and it was a great win. I think Wimbledon they're just looking a lot more solid. Even against us, they defended well. So I think Wimbledon probably stay up. Yeah, good win though for them.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. He says no need for that. It's been my name for ages.
Oh, piss off.
Yuri, he's in a bit of a bad mood. His club's let him down. So he'll be fine.
I'm not normally this angry, but they just really pissed me off this week.
Yeah, it's okay. I know how to make it better. You'll lose on Friday. Hull and Gillingham.
It makes it even worse when we're in front of Sky Sports as well when the world's watching. It's embarrassing.
I might actually do a watch along for that now, just so I can literally laugh at you.
Yeah, go on, get me on as well. We can just laugh.
I'll go on that watch. I'll be on that watch along, and I'll watch the game with you, so you can banter me at live.
That is tempting. That is very tempting. I'll see what
Indiana,
my
if you're watching this, Indiana, get it sorted.
I'll see what my Friday schedule brings. I think I may have my other shows on them, but I don't know. But Hull, Gillingham, Hull obviously top of the league, but only a point against Gillingham. Obviously, Gillingham are a tough ass side to beat. I don't know if you can call that a good result for Hull, but
I predicted this to be a draw. I knew Gillingham were going to do what they did against us, take 30 seconds to take a throw. They were going to time waste all the time. Hull had about 5 or 6 they could have made it 5 or 6, but they just wasted their chances. But on the other side, Gillingham were just wasting, taking. It's like time slowed down to take a throw in. It was a classic Steve Evans. But a point's a point for them, so they can be glad of a point because they're still in the playoff race. But there's going to be games where if they're playing Peterborough in the next sort of 13, 14 games of the season, then they might get demolished, and that might be the end of their run. But we'll see.
Yeah, Aaron.
Oh, you mean Charlie?
Same thing.
He's got a longer beard and a longer mustache than I have.
But
mine's a bit more messy.
Yeah, but yeah, I think it is drop points for Hull because I seen the highlights and they did have a lot of chances, but I think Bonham played really well. I think they're pretty resolute. I mean, it was Tom Eaves won it. Tom Eaves put them in front against his old club. But yeah, I mean, it was a great point for Gillingham, not Hull, because they wasted a lot of chances, like Aaron said. But I think Gillingham could be. I know they've played a few more games than other teams, but they're on such a good run, and I think they could be in with a chance of nicking playoffs. I think.
Yeah. Does anyone want to talk MK Don's result of the weekend, or are we gracefully moving past that?
Oh, no, we got to talk about that, haven't we?
No,
absolutely.
I've just seen a comment that's absolute. I've just seen a comment from Ewan that's absolutely got my guts.
But
yeah, I've just seen a comment from Ewan.
From who?
Yeah, there's a comment about a player that I've been linked with from Braintree. He's not going to get me. He's not going to get me. He's not going to get me. He's trying to cheer. I know he's trying to cheer me up. He's trying to cheer me up, but it's unfortunately I like the optimism, but it's not going to work unfortunately this week.
Yeah, but yeah, that MK Dons game, I think they could also, because they're only a few points off the playoffs as well. I mean, they're on a pretty good run as well. They've got goal scorers in their team. Grizz is doing better as well. Jerome. They've also got good midfield. So yeah. I think if they can keep consistent, look, I mean, that's what it is now. Teams. I mean, I think it goes down to even like 11th, 12th. They're not far off the playoffs. So it's going to be interesting.
Like I said, if we continue losing, we could finish 12th or 13th if we continue losing and don't get win for the rest of the season. But MK Dons, you know what? I'll give them credit.
But not many on target. Only the one.
No, we had 10 shots, 1 on target. But you know what? I'll give credit to MK Dons. I think that it could have been 4 or 5 for them. If it wasn't for our goalkeeper, it could have been 4 or 5. I think if we were playing Lumley or Balcom in nets, it would have been 4 or 5, knowing his mistakes. But I think that, if Lewis Jones wasn't making those saves, it would have been 4 or 5. I think MK Dons, they're in a project right now. I'll say this straight away. They're in a project. I was speaking with the MK Dons Supporters Trust before the game on a live stream on Facebook Live with 18 Dapper, the other Donny guy. And they were talking about how they're the only club in the league that's demoted season ticket prices. They've brought them down. They're building a project. They're backing the manager. They're sort of around the championship. There's a really big high at the minute with MK Dons. So I'll give them credit. But from our end, it was just utter carnival shite.
I thought it was quite good.
I knew you would find it good because Argyle's like Barcelona compared to Doncaster Östersunds.
That's a bit disrespectful to Argyle. I'd like to be called Bayern Munich, please.
Yeah, fair enough. Argyle, Munich, and Doncaster Östersunds.
No, I'd like to compare Doncaster to Ecstasy.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, red and white as well. Red and white as well.
Like I said, if we don't back the manager and we keep getting worse financially, it's going to come to a point where we can't be saved. And if we're not careful, we're going to have to go through that Phoenix Club phase again. Well, not again, but like go through that Phoenix Club phase and become like an AFC Doncaster if we're not financially stable.
To Bowie fans.
I know. It was a heat of the moment.
Dear. It'll be me and Charlie ripping into Doncaster after this. Louis saying, big up, lads, great show. Big up to AFC Doncaster. But let's move over to Peterborough and Accrington. It's not often you see us there.
What I'll say first, I'll keep the faith. We can try and get 3 points against Charlton, but we'll see.
I wouldn't hold my breath. But Peterborough 7-0. Yeah, but isn't it Butler, and he proven to be pretty bad at his job. But Peterborough smashing Accrington like 7-0.
Oh my god! It just
that's just brutal. Like
that's like going to your neighbour's house and dropping a turd on their doorstep just for laugh. It's like you played knock a door run and just left a turd there as a present. It's just injury, like. Just more hurt to the injury already sustained. It's like Accrington got annihilated, like a Robot Wars machine on Robot Wars. It's just annihilation. And Peterborough just did not stop.
That seems fair.
I look at the scoreline and I think the last few games not getting the win and getting draws against the likes of Rochdale and that, and Oxford, I think that's just built up frustration from weeks. I think Accrington's just like, it's like massive men with swords pointing at that gingerbread man from Shrek and making him poop jelly or something. It's like scaring the opposition, and he's the unlucky victim, Accrington Stanley. So Peterborough just ran riot. You've
got some strange analogies. Some very strange analogies.
I'm trying to make it enjoyable because my team's not had a good week. I'm trying to make it.
The people watching are enjoying seeing your suffering. I think they are.
And there'll be fans of clubs that will go through the same thing that I'm going through.
No, there's no need to be bitter. I don't think Indiana could be going through that.
Man United,
United are the greatest owners of all time. I'd say they do. When you put a ridiculously long comment, I don't know if I read it. Aaron, you can read that.
By the way, I am a Doncaster fan and personally think it may partly his fault, but more to the fault of the lone players, Taylor Richards not trying or caring to try. And he's got a point.
I didn't know if they were trying to. I didn't know if they were trying to catch me out, so I thought I'd let you read it.
No. I saw the writing when it came up, and I was like, "Yeah, it's fine. If you need to read it out, it's read it out." But yeah, I agree with him. Taylor Richards on that pitch did not look like he gave a shit about this football club, and he's not done that for the last few weeks. So he needs to stop sucking Darren Moore's cock and focus on his football.
I was going to say, Aaron, can you read the next comment as well? It's another Donny fan.
His first name's Mike, his second name's just offensive. See, Ewan, you can't always get me out. I'm not like Robbie on AFTV getting baited most weeks on live streams. Don't even try that with me, Sunshine. And respect to Robbie if he's watching, because I love him. He's a respect to that guy.
To be fair, I think you should read out it word for word, if I'm being honest.
Because I'm going to get clipped at the end of that now.
Yeah, that would be the funny bit.
But you know what? It's not the first time, though, because I'm going to get clipped if we don't get promoted anyway. So it's not the first time we're going to get clipped.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Indiana, you're saving the clips. You're saving the clips, pal.
Shrewsbury Pompey. Not a bad result for Portsmouth. They actually get a win.
I mean, it was a good win for them, back to back back-to-back wins as well. Obviously, Marquis scored and got sent off. I think that could hurt him along the way, because I think a lot of their obviously Marquis suspended now, and I think 2 of their other strikers are injured, so it might hurt them a bit. But I mean, going back to the Peterborough game quickly, I think it was a crazy, obviously crazy. I think I was doing the stream and everyone kept saying, "Oh, goal, goal, goal." But I think Accrington, I think even before they played, even us, I mean, we should have beat them 7 or 8. They were awful. I mean, and obviously I watched the highlights. Their defending was just terrible. And obviously Peterborough, Clark Harris, obviously every week he's scoring. It just saddens me to see that he's not at the club anymore. But yeah, great win for them. But it's all about consistency, like I said earlier on, with clubs like that, Peterborough, because they've had a bit of a dodgy run. But if they can keep scoring more than they concede, then I think they'll go up.
But we'll make Accrington look like Peterborough in a few weeks. Don't get me wrong.
and Charlie, what's your thoughts on Pompey's result?
Yeah, good win. I think that's now back-to-back wins with the Cowley brothers in charge. And now it's obviously now they need to go on a run. Keep going on a run. I think he's a great appointment for them. And yeah, I think obviously, like I said as well, it's just about if they can, have enough strikers, because a few of them are injured, and Marquis is now suspended for 3 games as well because he got a red card. So I'm hoping, because we play Pompey soon as well, so I'm hoping he's still suspended for that.
Yeah, of course, Marquis scores when we can't.
Yeah, the last one,
ex-Donny legend.
We'll just briefly talk about it.
Yeah, John Marquis is another B-Tech Andy Carroll.
Hey, stop being so brutal. Your team lost. But let's talk Wigan Ipswich, a 0-0 draw. I mean, there's not a lot really to say about a 0-0 draw, really.
No, I'd say that's a decent result for Wigan. Not really much for Ipswich. I didn't say my results on the Pompey game, so what I'll say quickly is Danny Cowley, 2 games, 2 wins. Well done, Danny Cowley. And he was one of the he and Uwe Rosler were my picks to replace Darren Moore. So Cowley's gone on and done something good. Uwe Rosler will continue doing something good at Dusseldorf in Germany. But Danny Cowley's picked up that squad. He's put the confidence up on. I don't expect Marquis' suspension to be a bad thing. I think they've got players in to slot into that striker role and replace him in the squad. But overall, I think it's another great win. Like Charlie said, it's about consistency now. Getting a good string of wins together, get the form up. I mean, and don't be if you get knocked down by a draw or a loss, don't lose your heads, because I've seen it with us this season. We won like 8 out of 9, and then we lost. We got no win in 5, and then the manager went. So, a win or a loss can change everything. Like, it don't matter where you are. I think we were at top of the league at one point for at least a week, and then we're now out of the top 6 entirely. Is
that when you said you were winning the league and getting promotion?
Yeah,
that was all gone downhill. That was before the form change. But I think if this season's proved anything,
it's all gone quiet. All gone quiet.
It's not gone quiet. It's gone angry. I think for Portsmouth, it's a consistent run of wins. But you know what, Portsmouth, just keep going and don't let anything break you down, and then they'll get top 6, in my opinion, and we might not be there.
It's okay, Pompey fans. If you are watching, there's the motivational talk from Aaron. But here's an interesting question, lads. I've got a very important question. If you had to pick a player from your club to fight Tyson Fury, who would it be?
Tom Anderson, brick wall, can't get knocked down. Tom Anderson.
I mean, I'd probably pick. Obviously, if it was last season, Clark Harris would have been up there. But I think this season, I think I'd pick our keeper, our Finnish keeper, Anzi Jakola, because he's an absolute brute, mate. He's a proper Viking lookalike. He would smash Fury within a heartbeat.
Yeah, there was a couple of players I could have picked. Like I picked Tom Anderson, but I could have gone with James Coppinger because of his durability and his stamina. I could have gone with bloody Andy Butler when he was a player, because a grenade couldn't blow him up at times. So I could have gone with either of them.
I'm trying to think who we could do, but They're all
Ryan Lowe.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, 'cause there's all the players are like softies and like don't know. Like he could just say boo and they'll jump and start shitting themselves. So I think it's either Ryan Lowe or Steven Schumacher. To be fair, one of the two. I just pick one of them really. Like if you'd asked me a couple of years ago when we had like Darren Purse, Maxime Blanchard, it'd be one of them because they'll probably kill him. But in terms of now,
do you think that Lennis could have taken him on?
No. That is ridiculous. To be fair, I reckon we can still get promotion, but we need to change tactics, in my opinion. Maybe change to a 4-3-3. There has been talk of maybe changing formation, and if we really need to, we change formation. Whether it is a 4-3-3 or playing with. Well, that's what I mean. Either a 4-3-3, or I've seen some fans say, "Why don't we play with wing backs and play like a 3-5-2 or something and play at the back?" Ryan Lowe's adopted Brexit ball. We're playing with a 4-4-2. It's very nice.
Yeah, but I think a change of formation would be great, but it could backfire.
Andy Butler's win aren't even good against good teams like Plymouth and Portsmouth. We
can't beat fucking Northampton.
That's just a bit rude. I hope you get relegated. Carlisle defender.
It's like Ty from AFTV. You're a disgrace, and I hope you get relegated.
Pollock in the way he defends, stands like a statue, acting like a fit girl, just walk onto the pitch. Hopefully, Donald learns from it after the bollocking.
Fair enough.
I'd agree.
But no, I think
we can move to League Two because there was a few sort of cancelled games in the League One. I think there may have been one on Sunday or Friday.
Yeah.
Friday. Oxford 2, Lincoln 1. Not a great result for Lincoln.
Nope.
Yeah.
You think that?
It's been since
the final now in their promotion chasing.
Automatic. Yeah.
I mean, for me, I don't think they'll even get playoffs because they got so many injuries now. I think Bridcut went off injured as well. George Grant, he got injured a couple of weeks ago, and then
think we'll get ahead of Lincoln? Really?
No. Lincoln and Donny won't be in the playoffs. They'll be outside. I don't think Donny are good enough. And they've got like I said, they've got a lot of injuries and they've been on a poor form and they don't really score enough.
Yeah, John Taylor's out for the rest of the season. John Jules is back in 2 or 3 weeks. Bostock's only just come back, so he wasn't 100%. So some of the key players are out. But to be fair, if we were going to finish outside, I'm not going to say definitely we are because we've still got games in hand. We're still a point off top 6. But it's all about where we get the next win from. But what I will say is
Lincoln to Doncaster.
Well, what I'll say is if we do finish outside the top 6 this season for definite by the end of the season, if I could choose anyone to take up my spot, it would be the Blackpool or Portsmouth because they would deserve it.
How strange.
Agreed.
but moving to League Two, we'll start with the Forest Green Rovers Bolton game. Bolton actually.
Shout out to Jamil Matt. Good luck from the recovery on your hand.
Big up to Jamil Matt. Used to play for Argyle, I think. Did all right. He won 2.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
There's been worse. But Forest Green Rovers, now they were near the top of the league. They've sort of had a little bit of a fall down. We haven't spoke much about League Two, and I don't know much. But I know a bit about League Two, but we haven't been in there for a season. But Forest Green Rovers currently 5th. Bolton have jumped above them in 4th now, which is mega for Bolton. But Bolton, everyone's played exactly the same amount of games, apart from Cambridge, who have played a game extra. Could Bolton sneak in automatically? Because they're on a really good run of form at the moment.
I do think they will. I think they will. I think the transformation by Ian Everett's been wonderful. I think that, Bolton are ahead of Morecambe, which you'll like now, because obviously Derek Adams' football is failing at the minute. But I think that overall Bolton and Ian Everett have completely turned it around. I think they've I think the first half of League Two was a struggle to settle into the league, and now they've got used to it now. they're really sort of showing exactly how good they are. I knew straight away the first half of the season was going to be a struggle, and the second half they'll pick it up, and they've done exactly what I predicted. So I do see Bolton getting automatics with Cambridge and Cheltenham. I think Forest Green might get to the playoff final in this case.
Yeah, no, that's a shout. Charlie, the transformation of Bolton. I mean, it was only a couple of months ago they were in the bottom half of League Two, not looking like they were going to have a successful season, but they've really turned it on in the second half of the season.
Yeah, it's literally been crazy, wasn't it? I remember looking at the table 3 months ago, and they were 16th, I think 17th, and since then, I think now they've picked up momentum. The last couple of months, and it's crazy. I mean, I looked earlier on, and fourth in the league, joint on third. They've scoring goals, they're keeping clean sheets. I think a massive help to them is, I think, two players in particular. Kieran Lee, who was at Wednesday, Wednesday got rid of him because he had an injury, but he's really helped. Went down 2 leagues to help Bolton, and obviously Owen Doyle, top goal scorer last season for Swindon, rejected to stay at Swindon, went to Bolton, and he's got 16 goals, so he's also a massive help. And I think they'll go up, whether it's playoff or automatics. I think they're just on such a great run.
I tell you what, though, this is a decent shout. In the next 10, 15 years, I could see Bolton getting back into the Premier League. I think they've sorted out the ownership now. They're going to keep building the squad. They've got the Ian Evatt Barrow loan of football that they had at Barrow in the National League, and it's become Bolton Salona or Bolton Munich. But
everyone thought the same about Pompey. I mean,
you can say that for anyone. Like, you could say that. You could even say that for Rovers. Like,
there's
15
no
years.
guarantee that Bolton will go up, but they're having a good season in League Two.
I think Bolton will go up to the top level again, because I feel like now they've got the ownership sorted situation, they're sorting what needs to be sorted on the pitch, and they're backing Ian Evatt. So I think that they'll keep rising and rising.
You also know how hard League One and the Championship is.
It's going to be a struggle, and that's going to be a true test of their mentality. But I think they now have the right off-field situation to hopefully try and not struggle, but try their best to cope with that mentality. And I think they're one of the clubs that I think could come through better.
So you're saying within the next 10 years that Argyle get Premier League?
It'd be nice for you, because you'll banter me all the time again.
Lovely, but that would be the most deluded comment I've ever heard in my life.
If you're in the Premier League and we're in League Two, you're going to banter me till the day dies. But no, I think
FYI, this is the EFL show, so if we're in the Premier League, I won't be here anymore.
You'll still banter me. You'll still come in here and banter me.
I'll just keep coming on. I'll be like, you're losing. Hold on.
You're the host. Now? You're one of the hosts. So you're going to come in here saying, here's the example. Your clubs need to improve.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be class. I mean, I'd love to clip that. I mean, in 15 years, when I'm 40, it would be amazing to say Rovers are in the Prem.
God. A West Country derby in the Premier League. That would be.
Oh my God!
Imagine
if we get into the Premier League, I'm going to end up crying.
Yeah, me too.
What about when you get relegated to the conference?
I will cry.
At least the emotions are kept the same.
I'll cry either way. Because we've been to the conference before, but we've never been to the Premier League before.
We best talk about Exeter and Salford now. Salford,
what a guy.
Do you know what? It's quite funny, because Gary Neville and all of these Manchester boys gonna buy the league, gonna win the league, we're gonna get out easy, it's gonna be a piece of piss.
Did it exactly give Richie Wellens any time?
Well, it doesn't really matter. The class of 92 are finding how hard the EFL really is.
Yeah.
Losing away, obviously, at St James's Park to Exeter City. Exeter are hunting down that playoff spot, but Newport are doing fairly all right, I think.
Yeah.
If I had to choose between Morecambe with Derek Adams or Exeter, I'm putting my money on Derek Adams. I don't want Exeter.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think the positive out of this result for Exeter was that you scored more goals than Exeter. So it's still, even though they got the win and you got a draw, you still scored more goals than them. So you're still better than Exeter. But
we're in the league above them. That's never been questioned.
Exactly. And the thing is with Salford, the thing is, and this links us to Donny again, because the fans have been turning on Andy Butler when it's the players' fault, and they've been saying we should sign Richie Wellens. But when you look at his win percentage, even though I think he got sacked a little sooner than he should have done, I think if they went on a couple more losses, then yes, I think Richie Wellens probably should have gone. But if you look at it, he's got a bad win percentage. So I feel like the sacking was too soon, but it was coming eventually, especially if they kept losing for the next couple of games. But in terms of the replacement, Gary Bauer, I've not really heard much from him, to be perfectly honest. But I'm hoping he can turn the situation around.
Gary Bauer did well at Bradford, didn't he, last season?
Well, there we go. There were points to the man that nearly got. There were points to the man that nearly got Bradford relegated to the conference. But there we go.
Yeah, it's very strange. It's very strange. I think Salford have to be careful, because if they keep on giving players big wages and keep on bringing managers and sacking them, they could be in a lot of money problems soon. And but yeah, like as for Exeter, it was a good win. Obviously, what was it, Matt J? Another goal for him, having a good season. But I think I'm not sure about Exeter. Obviously, I know you now don't want them to come up, but obviously they've got a chance. But it's like I keep saying with a lot of teams in the sort of playoff area or trying to get in.
Have you seen their behaviour when they get for playoffs?
Yeah, it's crap.
Well, you know what?
They'll get smacked silly by Forest Green Rovers 4-0 or something.
Well, I was going to say, you know what? I think if Exeter got into the playoffs, they've sort of got it either way, because on the one hand, they've got the advantage of losing in the final, and they'll have that momentum to try and go one better the next season. But on the other hand,
they had that last season.
But the playoff record for them is absolutely awful. And that's the thing. Like, on the one hand, they got the advantage of being in the final last season and the season before wants to go up again, this time one step better. But on the other hand, they've got the unfortunate advantage of having that bad playoff record, so it could go either way if they were in the playoffs.
Exeter, because
Exeter's a shithole.
Yeah, I agree.
Mate, their record though is awful. I mean, if they had the same mentality at Wembley as we do, because we're 100%. We've won. I think it's two games, 2 playoff final games. So if they had our mentality, they'd be all right. But they don't. It's awful.
There's 2 things that's good about Exeter City. The legendary Adam Stansfield, rest in peace, God Lord his soul. The second thing is they've got a better St James's Park in terms of how it's run, because Mike Ashley's St James's Park is crap. That's the 2 things that's good with Exeter. They've got a better St James's Park, and they've got Adam Stansfield, the long-living legend. God rest his soul.
Obviously, I have respect for Stansfield, but St James's Park, no. Just about. But what I would like is I do want Exeter to get playoffs. So if they can get Derek Adams in the final and Adams smashes them 5-0, I may just about forgive.
Imagine that. Imagine that playoff final. Morecambe, who were favourites to get relegated in the playoff final with Derek Adams against his old rivals. That'd be hilarious.
And the best thing about it is, what can make it even better is, because they lost the final 4-0 last year to Northampton. Imagine if they lost 4-0 or 5-0 this season.
That's what I just said. I'd just about forgive the prick.
It's just deja vu.
We do need to hurry up in League 2. Carlisle Cambridge. Louis Alessandra getting a goal. What they thought was a late equaliser in the 78th minute, but Adam May getting the 90-minute winner. Good result for Cambridge, top of the league for a reason. You grind out these sort of results when you're at the top, aren't you? But obviously Carlisle, we won't go into them too much because Chris Frey don't want to hear much about Carlisle. But just quickly on Cambridge, they've got to go up this season, haven't they?
They've got to go up. They literally, I think they've renamed. I don't know if it was a joke or not, but they've renamed a stand after Paul Mullin. So they've got to go up. They've got Paul Mullin. They've got Wes Houlihan, a legend in the Premier League for English football. Not in terms of trophies, but in terms of a name. He's synonymous with English football, Wes Houlihan.
Premier League.
He's a Norwich City. He's a modern playing legend for Norwich City. It's unbelievable. He's unbelievable.
When I think of Premier League legends, I think of Thierry Henry, Didier
Oh,
Drogba.
no. But what I mean is, I don't think legends in
Eric
terms of
Cantona. I don't bloody think of Wes Houlihan.
No, I think when I say that because he's not a legend in terms of the trophies he's won. He's a legend because
He's not even a Premier League legend.
Because his name is synonymous with English football. That's why he's a legend. His name's synonymous with Norwich City. He's a Norwich City legend. He's made Cambridge.
Yeah, he's a Norwich legend.
He may be a legend for Norwich, but he ain't
he's a legend for Norwich.
Legend. Jesus.
Yeah.
I think in the football, I think he's an EFL legend. He's been in the EFL a few times. He's an EFL legend because he's made loads of appearances.
Do you know what?
In
the word legend gets chucked around far too loosely these days.
I think Icon's more of a prestigious name.
I wouldn't even call Wes Houlihan that.
Yeah, he's just a Norwich, just a Norwich legend, not EFL, not Premier League, just Norwich.
I do think Paul Mullen will get a stand over Wes Houlihan. I do think Paul Mullen will get something more legendary than Wes Houlihan from Cambridge, but I think that Paul Mullen scored the goals for them. They've done really well. But I think Houlihan's been the. I think I'll tell you one good thing about signing Houlihan for Cambridge. It's the fact that he knows the Premier League, he knows the Football League, he's got the experience, he directs the play in the playmaking positions, and he directs the
Premier League legend.
He's a Premier League legend. He's synonymous with English football. But no. In all seriousness, Cambridge United, if they don't get top 3, there's no justice in this world because they deserve it. And for who are they playing again? Carlisle. See you in League 2 in a couple of years. See ya.
Okay, Chris. If you want Aaron's address, just ask. The
reason why I say that is because Carlisle have had a history of bottling top 6 in places. So I feel like Carlisle need to sort of get over that stigma of bottling the top 6, top 7 in League 2. Otherwise, they'll never get out of League 2 at this rate.
Maybe they need to hire maybe they need Premier League legend Wes Houlihan.
But if there's a way of doing that, if they're not going to get top 7 this season, they don't get it next season. I'm sorry, but the manager's got to go.
Speaking the obvious facts. But Charlie, thoughts on Cambridge going up?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty interesting. I don't think anyone would have said that they'd be anywhere near the top of the league before the season. But yeah, they've definitely overachieved. I mean, they've got some good players. You know, Mullin has been exceptional, top goal scorer. Obviously the Premier League legend Wes Houlihan himself. but no. I mean, in all fairness, it was a good win. I think it was from Adam May won it. I think it's pretty funny because we actually had him on trial at the start of the season or in pre-season, but now they're doing well. And yeah, if they don't go up, then yeah, it would be bad. But yeah, they've had a great season.
Yeah,
I've just checked the comments as well. Chris has just said our board doesn't want us to go up. Welcome to the party, pal. We're in the same league as you.
Excellent. He says I blame the players. They take full responsibility. Bunch of jokers. Cambridge not being in this position. So they may have some doubt about them going up. Carl, lucky I'm not manager. Trust me, that's all I'm saying. I expected Cambridge to win, but Carlisle have bottled it this season. In previous games, they've not won. Our players are as consistent as pigeon shit.
Well, it's hard to scrub off. So you could see that as a compliment. It's hard to scrub it off.
Pepper saying evening.
Evening.
Are you okay, mate?
Look, it's pepper and salt. Salt speaking right now. Aaron.
I need pepper. I need pepper, salt, and positivity.
Excellent.
But I don't think I'm going to get that from Niall.
You won't. But Colchester versus Bradford. Frank Noble getting a goal for Colchester. We had him for like a few months, and then we sort of loaned him back to Colchester. We're like, yeah, nah, you're not League One quality, are you, buddy? Getting a goal, but Bradford with the 2 goals to sort of seal it. Bradford their season is a little bit over. Mid-table seems to be where they're going to be. And Colchester, if I try and hunt them down in the league,
They're doing awful, aren't they?
They're 23rd. So
I can't believe how
21st.
bad they're doing, because obviously last couple of years obviously last year they lost in the playoff semi-final, and this season it's just been shocking. I don't know what's happened at the club, but I mean, on the other hand, for Bradford, obviously it was a win, but I think they've been on a bit of a poor run. They were doing well, then they went on a poor run. So I think, like you said, I think playoffs is a no, but I think next season they need to go again and get out of the league.
I second that notion. I think that Colchester, I think they're just lucky that Grimsby are bottom of the league and Southend are on a bad run of form despite the win this past weekend. So I think Colchester just need to go again. If Grimsby do get a run of form, though, and this shows how tight the league is, and Colchester keep losing, it could be Southend and Colchester in the conference, which is going to be interesting. But from a Bradford point of view, what the hell is going on down there at the Valley? I remember them back in the new millennium as a Premier League club, and now they're fighting near the bottom of League Two. It's unbelievable to see how far they've fallen. But I'm hoping and praying they get the right people in charge, because right now the two managers at Bradford I don't feel like they're going to do the job for long term. So I'd like to see them maybe working under an experienced manager that can take them a long way. So they need to bring in the right players, because I feel like Bradford right now feels like a retirement home for a few players. So I feel like Bradford needs to improve.
Chris saying, I'm still Chris Beach in, but he is under pressure to start next season. If doesn't get off to a good start, it's shame really. He stopped us getting relegated last season, but I want promotion. Fair comment. Oshar, you are a funny man.
I don't try to be.
But two sort of teams that seasons are pretty much over as well. Crawley and Port Vale. 3-1 winners were Port Vale. If Crawley if they had won, then you could argue that their season isn't over. But that loss really put in the nail in the coffin per se for playoffs. But two mid-table sides, that seems pretty fair for Crawley and Port Vale. They're probably mid-table for a reason this season.
I'd agree with that, absolutely.
Especially considering the stadium's named the People's Pension Stadium.
I'd agree with that. I think with Crawley, you know what? I think they had their magical FA Cup run when they beat Leeds United, and we'll always treasure that from the lower leagues this season. I think that we let one of our players go for free because we apparently couldn't afford to keep him anymore, and he goes and scores so many goals in 6 months and then moves to Cardiff in the Championship in January. So Max Waters did help them at the start of the season, but I think since he's gone, I think his impact's really differed on the squad. I think that Crawley have not really found the goals from much places, to be honest. From a Port Vale point of view, I think they were still in relegation trouble if other people drop points. But I think with Grimsby dropping points, with Colchester dropping points, and Port Vale getting this win, I'd say they're not mathematically safe, but I'd say they are probably safe. So they'll go again. We'll see what Port Vale do, because obviously they've got a stadium that's like a League One Championship style stadium with the capacity they've got. So Port Vale need to try and compete again. But for Crawley, they were in League One a few years ago, so I'd like to see them maybe come back to League One at some point. But we'll see how they do. I'm probably looking at mid-table.
You want to see everyone in League One at this rate?
It's because I've missed so many clubs being in League One, like your Carlisles, your Crawleys, your Berries. I missed them in League One, but look how Steve
Bell pissed out Berry last week.
Steve Bell screwed that club up. I missed Berry in League One. I generally missed them. There was a bit of banter a few weeks ago, but generally, deep heart in heart, I love Berry, and I missed them. Yeah. So Steve Dale, get the fuck out of football. Stick my middle finger up your ass, Steve Dale.
Already out of football, as is the entire club. But Grims, Charlie, thoughts on that one before we move to Grimsby?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Port Vale is, I think it's 3 wins in a row now for ex-Rovers, promotion winning Darryl Clark. Obviously, he went there to try and keep them up. It was a bit of a strange move, but yeah, I think they're a good win for them. But I think Crawley, on the other hand, like Aaron said, they had Waters up front. Obviously, I think Waters and, well, quite funny enough, ex-Rovers striker Tom Nichols, who got like 10 goals in like 2.5 years at Rovers. He's already got 13 this season for Crawley. But Crawley, I think they're just too inconsistent. They have a good run, then they have a bad run, and vice versa. But yeah, I think good win for Port Vale. Hopefully they can stay up.
Yeah, I totally agree. Grimsby, Walsall finished 1-1. Keelan Lavery getting the equaliser for Walsall. Another former Argyle player getting an equaliser for him. I mean, Grimsby, they're pretty much finished now. I don't see any way back for them.
You seem to sell talent and they go on and do well, and you keep talent and they do well. Argyle could literally go anywhere at this point. But no, I think for Grimsby's sake, it's look. I don't want to say it's over because they've got a couple of games in hand, but this is still quite a little bit tight. But to be honest, at the bottom,
to get out of the relegation zone, they're 6 points behind and they've got one game in hand.
Well, there we go. They need to pick up a run of form, otherwise they are going to be mathematically relegated, especially if Southend win again, Colchester start winning, and you're going to see those points differences start making a gap. And look, for Grimsby, when I was in disbelief because, Walsall, they equalised very late on. I was like, oh no, that could have been the 3 points that could have kicked them on. But no, I think Walsall, for them, it's a bad point considering now the size of their club. But they'll go again, and they're going to be in League Two next season. There's no promotional relegation for them anyway. But for Grimsby, they need to pick up a win of form from somewhere. And you know what? For Grimsby, it's I feel sorry for them because that whole Ian Holloway debate, and you saw his rant on Sky Sports months ago about the whole project big picture and things like that. Shout out Ian Holloway because you're a legend, but he left the club and it's just gone downhill since then, and I don't think the board's really helped them, to be honest. So for Grimsby, it looks like conference football next season, but they don't deserve it, and like any other club doesn't deserve it.
Charlie, thoughts on Grimsby? They're pretty much down now, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like Grimsby and Rovers, it sort of goes back because it's quite funny. They obviously had Holloway, and then they got back their old manager Paul Hurst, who since he's left Grimsby has done well. Apart from Shrewsbury, where he done well, and then he left Shrewsbury when they just missed out on going up to the Championship, and then since then he's done shocking. And I can't stand the bloke, to be honest, Paul Hurst. I can't stand him. But yeah, Grimsby looks like they're down. Been an awful season. Walsall, on the other hand, has been an opposite seasons. First half they were doing really well, but I mean the problem again with Walsall, they get good players and then they lose them and didn't replace them. I think it was Adebayo, the striker, who went to Luton in January. They didn't replace Zach Jules at the back. As a good defender, went to MK Dons and just didn't replace him.
He did well against us as well, so they've lost out on a talent there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just two
traps. To be honest, it's not hard.
Just two pretty poor teams in it, really. And yeah, Grimsby look set to be back in the conference.
Yeah, I'll quickly quote on what Charlie said about the players they've lost. Zach Jules just ran us off the park, but then again, it's not hard to beat us at the minute. Adebayo, a good striker, he's gone to Luton. He's applying his trade in the Championship, and I think he got a goal a week or so ago for Luton. So well done to him. But
he's got a few goals.
Walsall feel like sell on FC, just sell the talent and don't replace them. And it's costing them. They end up in conference football if they keep going like this.
Derek Adams getting a 1-0 win with Morecambe. He does that a lot, Derek does. Against Cheltenham. Against Cheltenham.
That's a good win.
A top side in Cheltenham. But to get the win. Morecambe, now they're in the playoffs. I do expect that they will get playoffs. I have that. Derek is good at doing that anyway. Anyone? I mean, are we looking at two sides that could be in League One next season with Morecambe and Cheltenham?
Yeah, I agree. I would say that. Yeah, I think Cheltenham top of the league when Morecambe beat them. So fair play to Morecambe because they're getting the wins against the big teams. And you know what? I would go as far to say as Morecambe have been the surprise story out of any of the divisions in English football this season. I think that. Yes, you could say you could go on and think about things like Leicester in the top four, and things like that across other leagues. But the real story here is that Morecambe, who have been in their league the longer than any other club, they've been in the league, about 15 years now, League Two, around 15 years. So if they get out of League Two this season, I'd say well done to him. I know you're not a big fan of Derek, but I'd say well done to him because I think Morecambe are a club that have been down there. They know what League Two's about. They deserve the step up, and we'll see how they do. But from a Cheltenham point of view, I think it's a 3 points lost on the title, and it could be the result that affects them in the long run.
I think they'll still get automatic.
They'll still go up, but I think it could be their title run. Maybe could get affected by that. But I think Morecambe will go up. They'll win the playoffs.
Are we looking at 2 teams going to League One next year? Morecambe and Cambridge? Not Cambridge, Cheltenham.
Yeah, possibly. I think like literally it's crazy with Morecambe. Like the last few, they always struggle. Players on very small wages, always expected to get relegated. I think. I know you'd hate me saying this, but I think if Morecambe go up, I think Derek Adams deserves to be manager of the season by far because of the budget. And they've done quality, and it's another great win. Like you said, he grinds results out against a really good Cheltenham team, who are doing well. But yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see whether they can keep going and keep that mental capacity going up, within the playoffs. It's going to be interesting watch the playoffs this year in League Two.
Yeah. The last one before we do Loan Watch, Stevenage beating Barrow 2-1. Barrow, they're not safe yet. They're not safe yet. They do have 2 games in hand over Southend. Stevenage, on the other hand, they sort of saved their lives last season, essentially, and this season they've sort of jumped up to mid-table. I think that's a fairly good result. Obviously, an 87th minute pen from Luke Norris that sealed the deal for Stevenage. But do you think Barrow can stay up?
Yeah. I think they will. I don't have any illusions about that, despite Southend winning against Harrogate 1-0. I think that Southend have just got too many problems consistently on and off the pitch, especially off the pitch as well. I think Southend, in my opinion, will fall. Hopefully it's not the end of Southend United, but I do think they will fall. I feel as if, like you said, Stevenage got saved by Macclesfield going out of business and having to start up again as AFC Macclesfield. So, again, another club falls, but they really do need to shape up next season if they stay up. Barrow, I think they need to. I think their season this season back in League Two has been the after effects of Ian Everett's exit, and I feel like now they've got the second season now to try and work out a strategy to sort of get better and not be in that kind of situation again. But I see Barrow staying up. I know they're not mathematically safe yet, but I see them staying up because Southend's got too many problems. But for Stevenage, I don't know where they are on the table, but they're safe and they're going to be in League Two again next season. Yeah, mid-table this season.
Can Barrow stay up? Or
yeah, I think Barrow will be all right. I think Grimsby, like I said, they go down. Not sure about the other team, but I think Barrow will be okay. On the other hand, for Stevenage, it's pretty interesting. Obviously, mentioned the mid-table because I done an interview with ex-Rovers legend Chris Lyons, and he said he went there in early part of the season, and he said it's been it's obviously been a great turnaround because they were down by the bottom, but they've gone all the way up to mid-table, and another good win. Fair play to them.
Yeah, 100%. A couple of comments before we do loan watch. Charu's your inside source at the club. I don't think he's going to announce that.
His source has 3 followers on Twitter.
No. Trust me. Then I can't say the name of him, but the inside source is someone who basically his previous evidence is he told me about Omar Bogle and John Bostock weeks before it actually happened, and he knew it. He knew the deals were done a couple of weeks, about 2-3 weeks before it actually happened. So I knew about the deal 2-3. So he's a trusted person. He knew about Bogle and Bostock weeks before it happened. So it's a trusted person, but I can't say his name. I can't say his name. But shout out to him if he's watching this.
Yeah. I need to hurry up the comments, else we're going to be here all night. Carlisle versus Crawley mid-table clash tomorrow. Yippee do. What's going on with Barton and Preston? Nothing yet, I don't think.
I mean, like I said, he was strongly linked. Big up to Charlie Webb. He's a Rovers fan as well. Yeah. He like I said, he was strongly linked, but he'll be staying.
Yeah,
at Rovers.
Everyone smash the like button, subscribe to the channel with notifications on as well. Make sure you share the stream on all your socials as well. That would be mega. Inside source is the club barber, yeah. Show you do crap me up, Sell FC. Carlisle owner is 83 years old. Let that sink in. Also aboard, I've seen no sign of them since Crumble Reform started. Funny that just like previous times, we've turned into bottled bloody Peppa Pigs.
Well, to be fair, we have similarities because we don't see our chairman out and about. We only see the chief executive, and Adam Enshu has gone to Aston Villa.
Tranmere, my tip to win the playoffs. Tranmere have that experience at Wembley. Cumbria derby, Barrow versus Carlisle in a couple of weeks. I can't wait. No doubt we'll gift Barrow 3 points like it's a pack of bloody sweets. Like we gifted 3 points to all bottom half of the table teams. He is a very trusted person. Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry for ranting about Carlisle. It's all right, Chris. We understand.
I ranted about Doncaster, so it's fine. And can I just say, by the way, congratulations to the talent identification manager, Adam Henschel, because it's official. He's now in Aston Villa recruitment. So well done.
Yeah. So we'll start off with Ryan Longman at Wimbledon, or shall I say AFC Wimbledon. I don't know what they like to be called. I don't know if they like to be called AFC Wimbledon or just Wimbledon. But he's on loan from Chelsea. A pretty quiet game, if I'm being brutally honest for him. He had one shot on target, one shot off target, and no goals, no assists. A pretty bog standard quiet game for him, really.
It's pretty much the explanation of a bog standard game.
He's class, though. I mean, it's his first season out on loan, and he's done really well. He's helped them a lot. Him and Tigger up front have formed a good partnership.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I'd say for his first season, I think it was just an off game. It was just an off game.
Yeah. Next, we'll go to Argyle. Adam Lewis. Weird game for him. Weird game, I'll say that much. 1 interception, 3 tackles, 1 penalty committed. But a fairly good pass accuracy of 71%. I mean, he's starting to come into it a bit more. His match sharpness seems there, which is good to see. Sam Woods is one of his first starts, I think, for Argyle. A solid game from him. 3 clearances, 2 interceptions. He likes to hoof it long though, so his pass accuracy not so good. But Charlie, comments on Luke McCormick.
Yeah, he had a decent game, a lot better than recent games where he's let the pace off a bit. But yeah, decent game, not too much to say, but pretty all right game. But yeah, it'd be going back to Chelsea, then probably off to the Championship next year anyway. But yeah, all right game.
Pepper saying, of course, we don't see him out and about. He has to run a football club. Moving to Matthew Pennington on loan at Shrewsbury. 4 clearances, 2 interceptions, 2 tackles. A bit of a busy game, but not a bad one for him. And then obviously you had Lincoln with Alex Palmer. It wasn't a great one for him as well. If anything, point average. I know he had a few saves that he made, but not the greatest. He's all right, but it wasn't his best. I
feel like his performances have downgraded in the last few games for Lincoln. I think since they've been on that run, I think that he's not exactly looked confident in between the sticks. And I think that there's a couple of goals this past few games where he probably should have saved them, and he probably was responsible for them.
I'd agree with that. Morgan Rogers, though, another quiet game for him. He's having a couple of quiet games recently, but he's still a top talent.
Yeah, he's a baller, isn't he? That Morgan Rogers.
Yeah,
I think it's just off games.
Every young player goes through these off games.
Yeah,
I'd agree with that.
And then that was all from League One. There was not many loans actually playing. Obviously, under 21s are playing as well, so a lot of them are probably playing for the under 21s of their respective nations.
And my Matt Smith is out at Wales, and the weird thing is he actually played better at Wales than our players did against MK Dons. So hopefully, I think the don't the internationals come back before Friday or Thursday at least? Because I think if Matt Smith returns from Wales before Friday, it'll be eligible. So my guess would be
Luke Jepcott played for Wales and then came straight to Argyle, so they should already be back.
Exactly. So I think hopefully for Friday, I think what I would. Yeah, so what I would do is I'd be bringing Horton off onto the bench again, even though he's been brilliant. I put James at left back, and I put Matt Smith with John Bostock, and I've had partnership for Charlton.
Yeah, 3 loans played in League 2 this week. Bobby Thomas at Barrow, 2 clearances, 1 tackle, dribble pass 1. It's not a bad game for him. I can't remember if Barrow won or lost again. I know we just spoke about
the lost 2-1 Stevenage. Very 50-50 for him though, from a performance perspective.
It was average really. But one from Jamie Cumming, he made 1 save and had nothing else to really do apart from pick the ball out of the back of his net as well. But
I think that just showed how comfortable Stevenage were. I think that just proved how comfortable Stevenage felt in that game.
Jamie's had a really good season all season, really.
He's been brilliant. He's right up there as one of arguably the best goalkeepers in League 2 this season.
Yeah, I would go with that as well. Harry Clark, though, on the other hand, not a great game for him with Oldham. 1 clearance, 1 interception, but 1 error leading to a goal. And he was dribbled past a couple of times as well. So it was a pretty peak game for him. It's not what you really want to be happening to you, but he hasn't played a lot for Oldham either. I mean, I'm sure if I was going through my book, he probably doesn't appear many times for Oldham in it, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, and again, like Bradford City, what in the world is going on with Oldham Athletic? Again, another former Premier League club in the old era, flying down the leagues, had the financial problems off the pitch. The board's not the greatest, one of the worst boards in the Football League, to be fair. So again, Oldham just going through. It's not that Bradford board's bad, but Oldham's board's awful. So again, Oldham, another club that's. I think the lower leagues are starting to feel like the breeding place for the sleeping giants. It don't feel like a proper league anymore.
Yeah, 100%. Well, that's everything I've got. That's literally Lone Watch was quite an easy one to write up. Not many games in League 2, and starting a bit earlier actually enabled us to get a few League 2 games spoken about as well, which is always good to do. But Aaron, do you want to finish it up for us, mate?
Yeah, absolutely. If you want, you can put up a few chats if there's any new ones, because I think there's a few. So
there's only the one. Charles, when fans are allowed back in the grounds, will you do interviews after games?
Oh, 100%. Next season, fan cams. Hopefully, fan cams. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Hopefully, we do all have better weeks. Obviously, I'm playing on the Friday, so I'm going to get a free Saturday this week. So hopefully, it'll be a very happy Sunday rather than a shit Saturday. So hopefully, it's a better week. Hopefully, Matt Smith's going to be back, so we'll have a better performance. But we'll see what happens with that. But for now, guys, thank you very much. Obviously, you can find me on Forever Football DRFC, our Doncaster Rovers channel. Loads of great stuff coming up towards the end of the season, so stay tuned for all that good stuff, along with the Three Lions coverage across the Euros. Charlie, where can they find you, mate?
Yeah, at One Rovers Vlogs on Twitter. Also, One Rovers Vlogs on YouTube. Just past 2.3k subscribers. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to First XI if you haven't already.
Yeah, please do that. Charlie, are you going to do any Euros coverage?
Probably not. I don't really care about international football, to be honest. I mean until it gets to the actual stage. But even then, I think England just bottle it because we got such a crap manager.
Yeah, we didn't look the best against Albania, not the most comfortable. Niall, where can they find you, mate?
You can find me at Twitter, Niall_PAFC. You can also find my YouTube channel at Let's Talk Premier League. Got all the international coverage. Started doing Republic of Ireland, and I'm not even joking when I say this. It's absolutely flying. Now, because not many people do Republic of Ireland, like watch-alongs and shit like that. So I've gained like at least an extra 15, 20 subscribers from that. And the Ireland watch along we did against Luxembourg got over like 600 views, which is absolutely mad.
Wow.
So
That's class.
I've sort of got a trick on that one. If you do under 21s as well, no one does much of them either, although our under 21s have been dog shit. But you can find me also on Let's Talk Premier League at 8:30 tonight, because we've got a weekly review show. But it's normally Premier League, but this week we're doing an international one, so covering all the home nations and seeing how they've done.
Brilliant. I wish I could be on that show. But there we go. So there we go, guys. If you've enjoyed this stream, please go and watch it back once it's all, done its whole YouTubing process and shit. But for now, guys, make sure you do like the video, subscribe to the First 11. Big shout out to Indiana and everyone that's helped us on this journey. This show's becoming a bit of a cult hero show. People are starting to respect us a lot more. But for now, guys, thank you very, very much. I've been Aaron, he's been Nal, he's been Charlie. And that, my friends, is full time. Rovers till I die. Up the Argyle, up the gas. And I'll see you all next week.